Hi, everyone, and welcome. Welcome to my first LinkedIn Live on leadership, inspiration, growth, hope, and transformation. I'm Ranjana Ghoshal, a leadership reset coach, and today's conversation is all about something we are all seeing, but maybe haven't fully stopped to unpack the shift from traditional leadership to new age leadership. Things are changing totally. There's so much of change, and it's a complex, chaotic world now. So, traditional leadership is also not working. What worked earlier and what is working today is very, very different. And that is why today I thought that I will talk about traditional leadership versus new age leadership. And I have been working on leaders since a long time, and I am seeing a huge change that is needed in leadership. And there we go. Let me speak about what would work really well in the upcoming years as leaders. So, this, when I talk about leadership, it's just not only a professional skill, it's a personal skill also. And I truly believe that how we lead isn't just about our teams and not just about our companies. And also, I would say not about just our business. It's about how we show up in the world, how we relate about uh, ourselves, like how we relate to ourselves internally, and how we carry the pressure, decisions, and expectations from the outer world. It is extremely important for everyone to understand that leadership is not only about managing a team or managing an organization or managing a company business. Leadership is about first managing self, then managing your team. So I know for a lot of us actually that leadership was something we learned by watching others. Maybe we had managers, we were who were really assertive, who were really very tough, and maybe highly driven, and we thought that's what it takes to lead. But here's the question. My question is, uh, I would like to open with this. Are you leading the way you were led, or the way you wish you had been led? Is it like the way you were led? Or is it that you wish that somebody led you like this? What is your leadership style? So, let me tell you what traditional leadership looked like. Most of the traditional leadership we grew up around was based on total control. And like when we think of leadership, we always feel that we have to, as a leader, we have to look confident, sound very decisive, know all the answers, and keep a distance. Emotions were not acknowledged, they were hidden or ignored, and teams were managed like total systems. It worked in a world that was more predictable, and it was more hierarchical and more linear. But what's not, like all these things, as I said, looking confident, sounding decisive, knowing every answer, keeping a distance from the team, from people, will not work anymore. It will not work anymore because uh, the traditional models are breaking down. Today's work environment are chaotic, emotional, and human, filled with generational diversity, remote teams, and uh, total burnout. I can see a lot of burnout everywhere. Every leader who comes to me, and that is why, from a leadership coach, I transformed myself totally into leadership reset coach. Because today's work environments are like, as I said, very chaotic, very emotional and human. I just wanted to mention that what is needed now is, because of this chaotic situation, human touch is very important. And today's leadership is, today's work environment, I would say, is filled with generational diversity, remote teams, and, as I mentioned, a lot of burnout. And this requires human connection and clarity, not control. People don't want more structure. Trust me, people want more meaning, more presence, and more realness. If we don't understand what is going through each and every person's mind, then it is very difficult, because the world is changing very, very fast, especially in the digital and AI world. So, let me tell you what New Age is all about. It starts with one very important thing, that is self leadership. You can't lead a team, you can't emotionally connect with. So you need to have an emotional connect with the team and the team members. As I said, with the team members. And you can't emotionally connect with the team if you're not emotionally connected to yourself. Hear me out. If you are not emotionally connected to yourself, it is very, very difficult for you to connect emotionally with your team. Very, very difficult. Now, what does this include? You may ask, ma'am, what does that mean? I mean, how can I connect with myself? Now, let me tell you, if you really want to know, you need to start noticing how you as a leader react under pressure, how your energy affects the whole room who are looking up to you, how your tone changes when you are stressed, how like, these are the small things I feel uh, that are very important in today's world. Because these are the things I work on with the clients when I see this. And when I see this uh, very strong in my clients, I use tools like emotion mapping, or like, there's a great questionnaire where we can map the emotions of a leader totally when he's under stress. And also trigger tracking, what happens when there is an emotional trigger. And these things, these tools actually help leaders understand their own emotional patterns, so they can choose how to respond instead of reacting suddenly and automatically. So, this shift in leadership presence, I think, is very, very important. It is no longer about how loud you are or how powerful you show yourself. It's about how people feel around you. So be very, very careful when you are reacting to a situation, or rather, I would say, are you responding or are you reacting? Understand this very well. Response with sudden outburst is not good. And reaction, of course, react. I would say reaction is not the right word. Response. Understanding where is this person coming from. So, as I said, the shift in leadership presence is also very important. No longer it is how loud or how powerful you show yourself. It's about how people feel around you. One model I teach is the voice, breath, body triad. Your breath, regardless your nervous system, your voice carries your emotional state, and your body signals safety or threat. This is what shapes your presence long before you even utter a word. So understand your presence. If it is pleasant, people will come close to you, open up, talk about their problems, and things will be much, much better. So, when I talk about the leadership presence and the leadership skills, I work on a framework called the Teach framework. Now, what is Teach framework? No, this Teach is not about teacher. The Teach is there are 5 core qualities uh, that conscious leadership today is like it is needed in conscious leadership. Why I call it conscious leadership is because be conscious about how you are behaving, how you are responding, how people are feeling about you, how your presence is showing that you are taking your team in a very different way, with self leadership first and then leading your team. So the five, uh, I would say the five true skills are, when I talk about the Teach framework, is trust, empathy, accountability, communication, and humility. Now, these aren't buzzwords, right? We all know these are not buzzwords, and I'm not saying anything which is rocket science. So, they show up in how you give feedback, how you make decisions, and how you hold space for others. Very important. They turn leadership, this framework actually turn leadership from a performance oriented situation into a relationship. It builds a relationship, and people will automatically start working sincerely for you because you are giving them also that importance. So uh, I would really like to know, what's that one leadership trait you think is outdated today? Drop one word in the comments. And if I would say, according to me, it's micromanaging. Stop micromanaging. It is very irritating because they are all adults. See what they are doing, point out, but do not micromanage. And you don't need to control everything. Nobody likes that. It's like a pressure when we are young, and when our parents also start completely, chasing us all the time, do this, do that, we all get irritated, right? So nowadays we all are aware that micromanaging or trying to control everything is not a good idea. And also, let me tell you uh, about, when we are talking about uh, like, okay, Binayak Singh, I can see this. Totally agreed, ma'am. I love this behavioral pattern. Yes, yes, absolutely. The behavioral pattern needs to change. So, when I'm saying that need to control everything is not the right way. Avoid tough conversations, because always, if you are sitting on the head and you're always, I would say avoid. I would say you are getting into tough conversation all the time. Then people will try to move away from you. Be also little kind-hearted, and always needing to be the smartest person in the room as a leader. You just don't need to allow others. Allow others. These are just outdated. Like, allow others to also speak. Always needing to be the smartest person in the room, not needed. These are just outdated. These are exhausting, because like, for others, just imagine you're micromanaging, you're needing to control everything, avoiding tough conversations, and always needing to be the smartest person in the room. These are all outdated. Sit and understand what is happening. talk to them, treat them like human beings, watch what is happening. Maybe they want to say a lot of things. Just understand it's human to human connection, trust me. A lot of things are going in their mind, in your team members mind. You as a leader, you are also suffering because you are also burnt out, but then the other person is also burnt out. So let's have something which is a win-win game for both. At the same time, we are building up that relationship so that people feel comfortable with you as a leader. Do not try to always overpower people. That's gone. Don't do that. So my personal insight and observation is that when I work with leaders, I've seen people with incredible skill sets but still struggling, not because they aren't capable, but because they are stuck using outdated leadership models. And the ones who evolve actually are actually those who learn to pause, who learn to reset, and they stop trying to control everything. Don't try to control everything. They become more emotionally available to their teams and to themselves. And when I say to themselves, trust me, that's very important. Now, in my program, I have one big module on self leadership because when I'm talking about leading yourself, that's where real leadership begins. Real leadership is not about always giving gyan and like taking telling people you should do this, you should do that. No, no. Real leadership is first knowing how do I uh, lead myself first, right? So that's where, as I said, your real leadership will begin. And let me be very, very clear. This is not about replacing traditional leadership completely. It's about evolving. It's just evolving. We are keeping the strength of leaders, we are keeping the clarity, but we are letting go of the rigidity because we are not leading machines anymore. We are leading humans. Be be empathetic, be nice, because old systems actually built machines. New age leadership builds humans, actually builds humans, because you need, because as I said, there's so much of chaos around. Earlier leaders were really, really good, but those days what worked will not work anymore, because as I said, human connection is much more important. And as I see in this conversation, like where I'm trying to actually work on my own clients who are leaders, I see their leaders also are creating a situation where they are super stressed, as well as they are suffering, as well as they are becoming victims of politics, as well as they are like ruining their health. They are burnt out totally, and it really, really affects me because I feel, how about first self leadership? How can we actually work on uh, leading ourselves first? We understand ourselves better, we work on our peace as leaders, and then spread that peace and happiness and empathy. But at the same time, we have our goals, so we have to reach the goals, and we have to have our ROI in place. So we cannot just think of empathy and humanity, we have to have a balance. So, if this conversation overall made you pause as a leader or reflect, I would love to stay connected with you all. You can follow me here on LinkedIn for more such insights, because I call myself as India's first leadership reset coach. And if you like to explore how your own leadership can shift, and how like you want to work on your own leadership so that you are happy,
I didn't catch that. Could you
you
try
are
again?
working on yourself better, then you can DM me. and we can have a one-to-one call, and we can actually work on it. So, hey leaders, thank you very much. Just remember one thing: self leadership is very important, because as leaders, you are also stressed, burnt out. First, handle yourself and understand how peak performance can be a smooth journey, and then how you can reset yourself, align with your goals, align your system with your goals. Inner system and outer system are both very important, and then help your own team with it. Thank you very much.
Sorry, I'm still not sure about that.